I got the invitation to go on this Armed Lutheran radio show, though. You know this guy? Have you seen this? There's two things that I would like to say that make me feel safe. Number one, the fact that there is a radio show called the Armed Lutheran Podcast somewhere in the world. That makes me feel safe.
Bringing you law, gospel, and guns. This is Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Armed Lutheran Radio, a show about guns, hunting, competitive shooting, the natural right of self-defense, and what God's Word says about the issues surrounding gun rights and gun ownership. I'm your host, Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran, and this is episode number 463. I looked it up earlier. Honestly, I did. I haven't had an episode in a couple of weeks because of, well, one thing or another coming up. 463. And this week is going to be our long overdue online hangout. Meant to do this last month, got sick. Actually, last month the plan was to do it and had a back-to-back all-nighters Friday and Saturday night, so it didn't work out. And then got sick a couple of nights ago, as you may still hear in my voice. So had to postpone it for a couple of days. This was originally going to happen on Thursday, I think. But anyway, episode 463. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Want to thank all the members of the Reformation Gun Club and the members who are going to be joining us here shortly. Let me see if I can ask some of these folks in. Let's bring them all in. I know some people aren't able to be a part of it because of all the moving things around, but hopefully we'll have a few hang out with us. If you would like to join them, by the way, reformationgunclub.com. Come join us. $1 a month, $1 a year, whatever you want to provide to help support the what we're doing here. It's greatly appreciated. All right. It looks like we got some folks who are joining us tonight.
Hello. Hey, Lloyd.
Wellington.
Well, that's my old dog's name. And I had to buy a new computer.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
done everything yet.
Okay. So your login, now we know your login. All right.
It's a beautiful, chilly, cold night here in Pensacola. Well,
nice. Chilly for...
So I got my...
Oh, hey.
So I'm sitting outside, but hopefully no CMs don't get me. You got no CMs down where you are at?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know what they're like then.
I do.
Horrible.
Yes. It's about time to fire up the old fire table out back. Although I'm not sure what the weather's like tonight. Today was not cool. We were expecting it to be a little cooler, starting to cool down, and it had for about 3 days, and then it went right back to close to 90 every day. Darrel, how are you? Curtis, good to see you.
Greetings. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. David is with us. Donny's tonight only from Glasgow, Montana. If I didn't mispronounce that. Glasgow. I may have over-anglicized that. All right. Sorry for the long delay in getting this together. Had the plans to do it last month, and then my client had a completely different idea and decided that I was going to pull double all-nighters. I pulled an all-nighter Friday night and then ran into all kinds of issues and ended up pulling an all-nighter Saturday night so that I could get some work done for a client. We had had somebody who was going to be on site Monday morning, and if I didn't get it done, it was going to be screaming and tearing of hair and gnashing of teeth. So I figured I'd Better focus on that. And then, as you can still hear my voice, a little bit under the weather the other night. Definitely a lot better than I was then. Wasn't worth listening to, that's for sure. So, thank you for your forbearance, Donny. How are you? Donny, is Donny getting his hair cut?
I'm at the airport.
You're at the airport. Okay.
I'm flying to St. Louis tonight, and the plane's a couple hours late, so I thought I'd try checking in on the phone.
Nice. What's happening in St. Louis?
Well, it's a fall break at the seminary.
Yep.
And so I'm meeting Peter tomorrow, and we're taking his car down to Dollywood and having a little fun.
Oh.
Dollywood's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And Peter's having quite a few health problems.
Oh, no. Well, give him our best.
He took and he found out he's allergic to all fish and seafood. Ended up in the hospital in Billings, Montana when he was there.
Oh.
And then extremely high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So he's on a 1,500 calories a day diet now. And so he can they only want him to eat, well, they said he could eat fish, but he can't because he doesn't want to pass out. And
that seems like really bad advice.
Yeah. I've lost about 45 pounds since you've seen me last. So
looking good.
I'm riding between 25 and 35 miles a day on my bike.
Nice.
Congratulations, Donny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So we're gonna, and of course Peter can't have anything to drink now. He can have one beer a week and one cup of coffee a day.
Oh no! How long is that going to last? Before? I mean, when is he? Is there a chance that that's going to change, or is he? Is this a permanent change to his diet?
Well, the fish is a permanent change to his diet. It came on all of a sudden. He'd eaten fish all of his life, and
we all go fishing and stuff too, right? So I mean,
yeah, and he had the fish in May on Cinco de Mayo, and now he is. Now he's not only he can't have any fish or seafood, and the some of the diet could change if he gets some of the other stuff under control. That should get better, but he's also kind of disappointed. He's the only unmarried fourth-year student at the seminary.
Well, hopefully that will change for him. Get the diet all straightened out and get away from the fish and everything else will.
Yeah, I got to tell you who thinks he's Peter's buddy now. You're going to laugh really hard.
Okay.
Bierman.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So Bierman admitted to Peter that he voted for Trump, though.
Well, the choice was it was an interesting choice. Can't rightly blame him for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I got to tell you about. He came to Montana this week once at a pastor's get together, and he took and the next day when he spouted some of his stuff, all the pastors were packing.
Oh. They start talking about guns in an armed group, huh?
Yeah.
Curtis, how have you been, sir? We haven't seen you in a while. Have you been busy? Have you been trucking all over the country? What's happening with you?
Well, not so much all over the country, but yeah, I've been trucking. I'm in a gig where I'm doing regional stuff, delivering auto parts from a distribution center out to retail stores. So I'm home a lot more, not gone on the road, sleeping in the truck all the time. So life is good.
That is good. Very nice. Good deal. Darrel, how are you doing? What have you been up to since last we were together?
Well, let's see. Been doing a little traveling, and plus, I think I told you last time that I got several Winchester 1873 rifles. Now, have not shot any of them, but I did take the newest one, which was made in 1886, down to a friend that has an outdoor range, and we mounted it in a vise, or sled, I guess is what he calls it. Tied a string on the trigger and shot off a couple rounds using the cowboy load. So I'm a little bit more comfortable with the.
Might try it next time.
Might try after actually firing it. So
okay,
so that ought to be fun. And since last time I did a little traveling, went to Munich for the Oktoberfest.
Nice.
That was a nice trip. Got to drink some good beer. So.
Very good. That's real Oktoberfest. We had Oktoberfest here
right
over the weekend. That's just Texas Oktoberfest. Not really the same thing.
No, that was not. But it was a lot of fun.
Very good. Very good. Mr. Wellington, what are you smoking tonight? What are you up to? What have you been doing since last we saw you?
Well, I get to use my arm again, so I'm happy about that.
Very good. I noticed there was no sling.
Yeah, it's a Padron. I took the Brightline train to Miami after I went to Orlando, Universal Studio, and Gatorland. Fun time, both places.
Okay.
Went down to Padron Cigar Distribution Center in Miami. So I had to buy a cigar. Okay, I had to buy a box. What can I say? They don't sell singles. They only sell boxes.
Good deal. Oh, Donnie's getting ready to board.
No, but
somebody is. Hey, let's see. Will is joining us from somewhere. Parts
Will
unknown.
I am.
So, what are you drinking tonight? By the way,
I'm drinking a rye whiskey.
Okay.
Don't know which one. It's just a rye whiskey. Whatever's in the decanter.
Whatever was in the decanter. Okay. Curtis, what do you got tonight? What are you imbibing this evening?
Blackberry Crown Royal.
Ooh. Okay. That sounds interesting.
Tasty.
How is it?
That sounds good, actually. All right. Darrell, what you got? I noticed you had something in a dark colored bottle there.
Yeah, it's just a Oktoberfest beer.
Oh, nice.
Off-brow Marzen.
Very good. I know Donnie's not able to imbibe tonight because he's stuck in the airport. Will, how are you? And where are you?
I'm well. I'm at home and just finishing up supper with the family. And Aldi came out with their chocolate peanut butter porter, and I'm just about to open that.
Okay.
Nice. You feeling better?
Yes. I don't sound a whole lot better, but I'm not coughing constantly, and I'm not constantly blowing my nose. I thought about sticking it out and giving it a shot, but I was like, y'all don't want to watch me blowing my nose and hacking and coughing and sneezing every 5 seconds. So,
is that a BC Rich Warlock behind you?
Indeed, it is.
Okay, I've seen a few of those.
I originally bought it. It didn't have the iconic whatever they call that, the Black Widow headstock. So I replaced the headstock with it's kind of a mismatch, but at least it's the iconic look. So it's a bit of a wall hanger. It doesn't play quite as well as my others.
Fair enough.
So, all right. God, so much has happened since we were together last. So I guess the gigantic biggie that let's get Steve in here and find out what he's been up to. There he is. See if he's got a cat on his head like the last picture I saw of him. Can you hear us, Steve?
I can hear you, Lloyd.
Oh, there we go. How are you?
Well, doing good. Just trying to get 2 little girls to bed. Bit of a challenge tonight.
Well, yeah, I remember those days. I didn't have 2 to do at once, though. So
yeah.
No cats, no cats crawling all over you. I saw the picture you posted the other day with the one sitting on your head.
Yeah, our home is filled with cats. They're they're fun. But sorry for the late start.
No worries.
Yeah,
dude. Considering that I've postponed this twice since last we were together, that you don't have to apologize at all. Hey, Pastor Bennett is actually going to be able to join us. He's been a busy boy. So,
cool.
Steve, what have you been up to since last we were together?
Well, I've had my most successful YouTube video on my gun channel to date.
Ooh, do tell.
Where I stepped on some toes apparently, but I did a video on why an extra high scope mount makes so much sense. And I went into the biomechanics of it and the physics and all sorts of reasons why it works, and put out there that, everybody that talks about wanting to mount the scope as low as possible, I had never heard an actual reason other than that's how we've always done it. And I'm
sure the internet handled that perfectly, just calmly.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that the first probably 15, 20 comments I got were from people saying, oh my God, this makes so much sense. I've been mounting it high. I didn't quite understand why it works so well, but you just explained it. And I had tons and tons of really good feedback. And then the trolls started. So, but you know what? That video has had, I think I'm up close to 10,000 views now.
Nice.
Which in less than a week. And that is, for my channel, that's crazy good. So yeah, been having fun with that. My car channel is still doing well and making enough ad revenue that it pays my car payment. So between the two of them, they work out pretty well.
Very good. Awesome. John, how are you? You're still out and about making your rounds.
Yeah, I'm driving home from a hospital visit, so you can see the darker side of me since it's since it's after dark now.
You have your pastoral camouflage on.
Yeah. It's not often I pull a 12-hour day on a Sunday, but it happens.
Well, you only work once a week, right? So.
Oh, if only that were the case.
I did get a reference to that into the book.
I did. I think I caught that. I'm about a third of the way into it.
Good deal. So what have you been up to since we were together last?
Well, I'm now serving 2 parishes. I don't remember if I mentioned that the last time we got together.
You did. I don't know whether you had started yet.
Yeah, I have officially started making a lot of shut-in visits. That's the big thing. It was something that was grossly neglected by the previous pastor. So some of the people I'm visiting have not been visited in 5.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Holy cow. Is it an older congregation mostly, or?
No, they've got young families. They've got a school. They've got quite a few young families. So it's, yeah. But if I can serve 2 churches and get to all the shut-ins about once every other month, it's why couldn't a guy who just had that as his only church not do that? So it's frustrating, but I'm finding a lot of fulfillment in ministering to those people.
I'm sure they're glad to see somebody for a change.
Yeah.
Happy to have you. So my description of Father Jordy's duties at the beginning of the book was pretty apropos. You're just constantly on the move.
Yeah. I've put on probably 7,000 miles in the last 2 months.
Just visiting shut-ins?
Visiting shut-ins. There's been a couple road trips in the mix, but oh, come on. I'm stuck behind a semi. Move. Harvest season can be very frustrating in this part of the country.
Pastoral road rage.
Well, you get guys that don't have CDLs driving semi trucks, and yeah, in Minnesota you don't have to have a CDL to drive a semi truck if it's only for farm use.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and sounds dangerous.
No, it sounds fine. Sounds like a farm thing.
Well, you see every year, and I'll see it. People posting on Facebook within this area, within a couple hours of this area, you'll see numerous incidents where someone hauling grain turned in front of a train, and the train just cut the trailer right in half. So,
well, there was a guy with a CDL in Florida that killed a bunch of people because he was an illegal alien.
Oh, yeah.
And so, what good is the CDL if places like the People's Republic of California will give it to any Tom, Dick, or Harry? So,
I'm of the opinion as someone who has a CDL for school bus that if you're going to be allowed to drive an 80,000-pound vehicle on public roads, that there should be some sort of process for you demonstrating that you are competent behind the wheel before they let you do it.
Yep.
That accident in Florida actually caused enough stink that there are a lot of states now that are stopping trucks and testing for English competency to see if they can understand the language and the signs and everything. So, I mean, I feel for the people that were killed, but it did cause enough of a stir that there's some good coming out of it.
Yeah. Oklahoma's really stepping up to the plate on that one.
Yeah,
but
there were some states doing it even before the accident too.
Yeah.
I know that was happening in Tennessee before that accident as well.
David is with us. You were on mute, and I wasn't sure whether you were there or not. How are you?
Pretty good. This is my first time joining. I noticed as I went to join, my membership is about to expire in 2 weeks, so I renewed that real quick.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate it. So tell everybody, since this is your first foray into this nonsense, tell everybody a little about yourself, where you're from, and what are you imbibing this evening? We generally share. I'm doing nothing of interest because of the voice, so I'm just doing tea. So,
yeah, it's still a little early here. I'm not doing anything of interest per se here. I'm in California, People's Republic of California, as it was said. Sometimes we refer to it as behind the tofu curtain. But yeah, I grew up a mix of here and the Midwest and Wyoming. I was actually raised in a different religion and came to Lutheran about 4 years ago. So,
all right. Well, very good.
What part of California?
I'm near Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
I got to go near.
I grew up in the San Fernando Valley.
All right. Well, I
escaped many moons ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you with us, and hope you will take part as often as we can get these things together. If I don't screw it up and have to postpone, we will. I won't make the promise, but I'm going to try to do another one next month. We're trying to do. We've got this one big project where the customer keeps thinking they're going to go live with their big project this year. I don't see it happening, but we're like, we want to do that the first of next month. Yeah, right. And then it doesn't happen, and it just keeps getting pushed. But we'll see. So hopefully we'll do another one of these next month. All right. So to the stuff that we haven't talked about and is sort of hanging out there, we didn't get a chance to talk about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I did want to get everybody's thoughts on that. Your initial reactions from, if you can remember what they were from when you first heard, and your thoughts on things since, and how that has changed things for the better or the worse since it happened? We'll start with you, Stu.
Well, my cousin told me about it when he was shot, and I didn't really follow him much. I had heard of him, I knew of him, but I know a lot more about him now. Political violence like that is unacceptable. It's not right, and hopefully cooler heads will start to prevail. I don't hold my breath for that, but because we know what the left is like. Because like some of y'all, you remember the 60s and the 70s and how they were back then, Donnie. You remember the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And
calling each other out. This is great.
Yeah, well, it's, I do remember. I mean, I wasn't old enough for Vietnam, but I was in high school in the early 70s, and I remember all these people and how evil they were. No wonder I was a Reagan Republican, but anyway.
Feels like we've recreated a bit of a permission structure for that kind of stuff now.
Well, when you have no moral compass, as the left has no moral compass, what do you expect? When there's no right or wrong, anything goes on.
Yeah.
My two bits.
When you constantly harangue about how words are violence.
Yeah. And you get, so I'm a racist and a Nazi. Sorry.
I think we all are by the left's definition.
But they don't understand what a Nazi is. One, Nazis are socialists, and they want to control the means of production, like all good socialists. I mean, it all comes from the same guy, that Italian guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Antonio Gramsci?
Yeah, that guy. Gramsci. I'm sure.
Maybe I'm missing on that one. Correct
close
me if
enough.
I'm wrong. It's close.
Close. It's. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a racist. I'm definitely not a fascist, because they don't even know what these words mean.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
But it serves a purpose to dehumanize. They are othering us.
Mm-hmm.
And by using that language and those words, it intentionally dehumanizes anyone that disagrees with them. And I've seen it from the right too. I've seen people on the right. I forget who it was calling people scum and other things, but it's the same thing. When you dehumanize by using that type of language, you're doing it very, very intentionally. And I think it was intentional. And it was intentional to chum for the monsters, to draw up the monsters that are going to carry it out and take your words seriously. And I don't think it was accidental. The problem
if you call somebody a Nazi enough, you've created that, like I was saying, the permission structure. You're reinforcing the permission structure. That's because what do you do if you really believe that these people are dangerous, that they are a threat to democracy, as we keep hearing? If you really think that they're going to take over the country and make everything worse, if it really was a Nazi, wouldn't you want to stop that person? Wouldn't you want to prevent Hitler from coming to power if you had that opportunity? And so, so you keep calling people those words, and somebody's going to take you seriously.
They're going to feel justified.
Yeah. Curtis, you wanted to weigh in on this when I had to postpone a couple of times back. Your thoughts, your initial reactions and your thoughts?
Actually, my comment was about you and Pastor Bennett's conversation about pastors and the seminary and all of that sort of stuff. So go ahead and finish with this, and then if we have time, we can talk about that other.
Well, go ahead and give me your thoughts, and remind me to circle back to that, because I do want to hear what you were thinking on that. But go ahead with what did you think in immediately in reaction to it? How did you hear about it? And because this kind of feels like one of those moments where, like the JFK thing, where everybody remembers where they were, how they heard about it.
Yeah, I think I seen it on TV right away. A lot of times I'm watching a program called Fox Live, and of course when they have things like that, when he's doing them at universities, a lot of times they have that live. So I think I heard about it real soon, right after it happened. Yeah, I think he was a good debater. He had good arguments, and that's what caused the problems. Is people couldn't come up against him with facts and good arguments. He could shoot down almost anybody on their alternative views, and he did it with love, as it says in Timothy. Spread the gospel in love, and I think he did that, and that just upset so many people that he was effective in bringing not only the gospel but his points of Christian contention together into a decent way of talking with people. And gosh, we all need to do that better.
And it's amazing how you continue, even now, are still seeing him demonized as though that wasn't the way he talked to people.
Yeah.
Which it tells me, and should tell everyone immediately, that you didn't listen to him. You've never listened to Charlie Kirk. You only know what other people are telling you.
Right. I was a pretty good follower of him. I watched a lot of his assemblies there, where he would have the open mic and anybody could come up with any topic, and he was effective with them. If they couldn't come to a reasonable conclusion, they parted ways, and basically he gave them a blessing and say, sorry, we can't agree, but we tried.
Yeah.
Nobody had to pull out a gun and shoot each other just to solve an argument.
Exactly. Steve, your thoughts?
Well, what bothers me, it's so much. I think everything has been said basically, and we know the left was responsible. We know that all of those things. What's really disturbing to me is the conspiracy theories and the alternate ideas that everybody has popping into their heads about who was behind this and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, some of it I can't blame people for. We've been lied to so many times about so many things, about big stuff. Going back, I used to trust every narrative. I used to trust, JFK. It was one guy on a hill, right? Right. 9/11 was exactly the way they said it was, right? Well, sure, until I started figuring out what Building 7 was. And COVID, so many
I think
things.
that is the thing that killed it.
They destroyed credibility. And so now everybody looks at it and says, well, it must be something else because this is what they're trying to make us believe. And even if you saw it with your own eyes, you can't believe it anymore because all credibility's been crushed. And that leads to people just believing whatever happens to pop into their head. And that's dangerous too. I just look at it and say, I don't know if there was a conspiracy. I don't know what the facts are. I just know that a good man died, and a good man who was a Christian and spoke of love and said the things that needed to be said and people needed to hear. And I know he's dead. And for whoever did it and for whatever reason and whoever was helping, they succeeded in silencing something that we needed.
Darrel, your thoughts?
Well, I was really saddened by it, and unfortunately, I was not surprised. It's just the way our society is today. And we'll just continue to see more and more of this. And if it changes anything, it'll probably make things worse than better. A lot of people are hoping that it would calm things down, but I don't think it will. It'll just prolong it.
I think that's fair because we haven't seen a whole lot of calming rhetoric from the left.
And there's not a whole lot from the right either.
And not a whole lot from the right either.
Yeah.
But
except for Mrs. Kirk, who forgave the guy. The best, that was a good witness.
It really was.
Yeah, I mean, I know she's not a martyr, but her husband was. And gave a good witness of Christ.
Yeah.
And maybe some of that will sink in. Give it time and pray for the people that keeps calling us a kulak. Let's take it out of the communist pay. It's right out of the communist playbook. There's naming people. That's, that's what Steve said. It's just the kulaks. Call me a kulak instead of a fascist, please. I'd rather be called a kulak.
The one good thing that you see coming out of it, though, is look at the number of people who are sharing their stories of going to church for the first time in their life and the aftermath of it.
Yep. Joining a TPUSA club or going to church or opening their Bible for the first time.
Yeah, I did that the other day.
For the first time since when?
I don't know, seminary.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to have to sign off. I'm just about home, so I need to get going. So blessings to you all.
Have a good night, John. It's good to see you.
Good to see you all, too.
See you, John. Not that I haven't seen you recently.
Will, your thoughts?
Yeah, from the reform point of view.
On Charlie Kirk, that was utterly devastating. I remember watching. Well, I was out at work, and I got a text message from my mother-in-law about that this happened, and I was almost done for the day, and so I was able to spend a few minutes on it, and I thought I was going to vomit. It was just devastating. Yeah, I thought there's, apart from intervention from the Lord, there's no way he's surviving that. That was just too much blood. And unfortunately,
I fortunately did not see that video, and I've refused to watch it.
I had no interest
I heard that it was shot in the neck. And fortunately, I had to work and could not turn on the TV. But as soon as I heard that, I was like, I was not surprised on the one hand. I was, like everyone here, saddened by it, but not surprised. But also kind of instantly knew from the brief descriptions that I got that he probably wasn't surviving it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it hit hard in a number of ways, a couple different levels, because I've watched his videos over and over again. It shows up in Facebook feed. I see it on YouTube. And his style was amazing because he would be assaulted verbally with all kinds of crazy nonsense, and some of it on occasion was personal, but he would respond very calm and very logically and very lovingly. And as has already been said tonight, the people who are saying all this crazy nonsense about how racist and inciting he is are clearly people who are just ignorant. They don't watch, they don't listen. Well, some of them probably are. And many of them are genuinely ignorant, and they're only parroting the nonsense they hear from other people, probably from the more delusional amongst us. But it hit on a different level because my kids, my oldest in particular, who's about to turn 16 in a couple months, just a few months ago learned about Charlie Kirk and started following him, started watching videos. And I went on YouTube watching Charlie Kirk videos, and it was resonating, and it was just opening avenues of conversation, and you could see the wheels turning and things falling into place. And my heart just broke for those who were there, for those who loved him and personally knew him, which obviously we didn't, and for the probably countless millions like my son, and he took his siblings with him on the ride, who absolutely fell in love with this man's passion and love of Jesus first. Loves his country, sure, but man, he preached the gospel concisely and clearly and fearlessly in some of the pretty hostile places. Yep. And it's been rough trying to walk through that with my own children who had a high degree of respect for him.
Yeah.
And it's been on a positive note, really encouraging to see some of the changes immediately with some. I mean, the churches were packed. Just people couldn't even walk into church. It was so crowded. They had to wait for another service or couldn't park anywhere near where they'd used to park. That was encouraging coming out of this turmoil and tragedy. But it's heartbreaking that these kinds of things has to happen. And yet, where would the church be if there weren't martyrs? He was legitimately assassinated and a legitimate martyr. And the results I've seen from it have been heartbreakingly encouraging.
Yep. Agreed there. David, let's get your thoughts on this. Haven't had a chance to. This is your first time. Give us your thoughts on the whole Charlie Kirk thing.
I heard about it after I got home from work. I had logged on to check on a few things and noticed it. I was not surprised. I work in a very left-leaning field. And so while I'm not that leaning, many of my coworkers are. And so I've had to hear it from lots of people at work. And a lot of what they do is they take just like people take verses out of context, they take one or two lines he said out of context and base it on that. Because what he would do is he would take whatever they said that was, they're challenging him on, and he'd spin it a little bit to kind of agree with them, and then he'd go on and explain why.
The sympathy thing.
Yeah. I mean, like the one where, he said, yes, shootings are worth it because the Second Amendment has other things that are far more worth it. And he compared it to driving motor vehicles. I actually a while back looked in for this is 3 or 4 years ago, but 29 out of 36 years before that, more people died from motor vehicle accidents than firearms. So, that was a really good, in my opinion, analogy he used. I've also been sickened because, in my view, Antifa and some of the comparisons they're making is probably the biggest example of stolen valor ever, in my opinion, when they're basically comparing themselves to the soldiers of World War II on the Allies. Because Antifa, or Antifa, however you want to say it, began in 1920s Germany. And it was basically a sibling rivalry among the left between the socialists and the communists. Antifa was the communists. And then they actually, once Hitler signed a treaty with Stalin, they worked alongside the Nazis in Germany. When he broke that treaty, they started, by that point, they were pretty much removed as a force off the table. After World War II, they were one of several groups that were funded by the Soviets to stir discord in Western Europe. And so them comparing themselves to the soldiers of the Allies is really, in my opinion, the biggest example of stolen valor out there. And I've said to people, just because you call yourself anti-fascist doesn't mean you are, because North Korea is not democratic, no matter how they call themselves. And it's very much the same, in my opinion.
Antifa is an accurate name, but it doesn't stand for anti-fascist. It stands for anti-fact. They're full of it, and we all know it, and they just don't see it.
Well, the guy that wrote the Antifa Bible or whatever it was apparently just fled to Spain this week. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The professor from Rutgers or whatever, the guy who supposedly is getting death threats. And we're also told that Antifa doesn't exist. It's just something that we're making up.
And, in his, I have not read the book, so I can't actually say firsthand. But my understanding is in his forward, he said half of the funds from the book or more were going to go to enlist an organization that funds these groups. So, for something that doesn't exist, they sure have a funding network. If you see the videos of them, those green helmets, that's actually a bunch of lawyers that are on standby right there at the protests. those green helmets when you see them, those bright lime green helmets.
Okay.
So yeah, that talks about organization to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and now
how do we know they're not being funded by the Chi-Coms? You talk about Lenin and Stalin funding it back in the 20s and 30s of Germany. How do we know it's not being funded by the Chi-Coms now? They're no better. They're just as corrupt and disgusting as Stalin.
Well, there's enough commies here in America that I don't know that they need overseas funding. But
I'm not talking about AOC and her ilk. I'm talking about
AOC,
those who actually want to destroy the country, like AOC and her ilk. But
Bernie.
Yeah. Another communist. I wish people would just stand up and say who they are, like Zoran Mondavi.
They can't. We have a governor's race here in Virginia.
Oh, boy, have you got a governor's race?
Yeah, you do.
Spanberger can't say what she is or who she is. They can't, because if they do, they'll lose. So they try and pretend that they're something they're not.
Yeah. Hey,
politicians need NASCAR jackets so we know who their sponsors are.
That would be awesome.
Thank you, Donnie.
That would be awesome. Donnie, your thoughts?
Okay, yeah, I was deeply troubled, and of course, I live in the People's Republic of Minnesota, but only for 10 more months, and then we'll be back to the free state of Montana. But I was deeply troubled. We are a vacant church right now. We have a vacancy pastor. And going on to what Pastor Bennett said is I actually do some of the visitation as an elder in the church. But, I'm amazed how the people think that, well, that was okay. But, and of course, their answer to everything in Minnesota is we got to outlaw ARs. So
you got Governor Waltz pushing for that.
Oh yeah.
But it's a hunting rifle.
Yeah, but I know people who hunt with it. The big issues are people who sport shoot with it. Shoot out to 1,000 yards or something like that with them. People don't understand what they are, and that they're just another rifle. They're not a fully automatic weapon.
Oh, they don't care though, because it'll get right down to it. They want to ban handguns. They want to ban the rifle that Charlie Kirk killer used, which is a 100-year-old hunting rifle.
I may end up moving my collection to a friend's house in Montana.
I don't blame you.
Are they coming after you?
There's people who want to. Yeah. So
there's plenty of politicians in Minnesota who wouldn't mind.
And you got to be really careful, because one little dot, 5 counties control all the state, because actually the U.S. reps are 5 reds from everything else, and 5 blues from the 5 counties of the metro area.
Yep. That's generally the way it works everywhere.
I'm probably going to have to sign out here and do a couple things before I leave for St. Louis. But
safe travels.
It was good
blessings.
This delayed flight let me do this tonight.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Gave you something to do.
Yep.
It's good seeing you, Donnie.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Keep up your bike riding.
Yeah, there you go.
Say hi to Peter for us. Tell him we'll be praying for him.
Yeah. Okay. Will do. Bye.
Bye.
I tell you, the one thing that still weirds me out about the entire situation is that the rifle still it confuses me. I would really love to learn more And I know that there's an active investigation. I'm not a researcher. I'm not I don't have access to find out a lot of this stuff. And I'm not sure how much we're going to be entitled to know. But I know what a 30-06 does to tissue. And the injuries that Charlie Kirk got are not consistent with a 30-06. It just isn't. And there's no way to escape that.
But to go down that rabbit hole means that the surgeon who actually saw him is lying, who actually treated him is lying. See, this is where I have a real problem with conspiracy stuff. Because my first thought is always Occam's razor, right? The most likely answer is probably the simplest one. The idea
Occam's
that there
razor is it's the graze that hit the jugular. It's essentially what it is.
Okay, have you ever seen a 30-06 go any less than 18 inches into flesh?
Yes,
Again, we're saying that the surgeon that saw him and said, yeah, that was a miracle that it didn't go through him and hurt someone else. I can't get to there's some other weird conspiracy and that this doctor's lying. You're going to have to prove that to me before I can, I understand the whole, I don't trust government the way I used to blindly, like Stu was talking about back in the day. We used to be able to trust what we were told. And COVID killed all of that stuff. But I'm still not to the point where everything I see is a conspiracy hiding from me.
Well, I'm not saying I know or have any inkling of what did happen, but I know what doesn't happen with a 30-06. I've unless they come out and say, oh, well, he was using, what's called an accelerator. Those were discontinued years and years ago. An accelerator bullet would account for exactly what we saw. But no one said that it was an accelerator. And if you don't know what that is, that's Remington used to load this specific ammunition. It was a 30-06, but then they used a plastic sabot and put a 22 caliber bullet in it. It's believe it was either a 45 or 50 grain bullet flying at something about 4,200 feet per second.
Holy mackerel.
That would account for it. That would absolutely account for it. But no one said that that's what it was. And so
it's certainly possible. I mean, it was an old sporterized Mauser. So
we don't know how old the ammunition was. We don't know.
We don't know how old the ammunition was.
Yep. And like I said, I'm not an investigator. I don't have any special access. But again, if it were anything other than that, it doesn't wash. It doesn't pass the smell test. So I'm looking. I want to understand. I would love to believe Occam or Occam. You know what I mean? But I haven't even had a sip tonight. But it strains credulity to say that a 30-06 would impart the type of damage that everybody saw. It can't. It just can't. A 22 does more than, well, not quite. A 22 would do that. But a 223, absolutely. 30-06, not a chance. And that still just concerns me. And again, I'm not saying that I have any information. I'm not making any accusations. The only thing I'm saying is with the information that we have, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Well, go ahead, Stu. You were
no idea. I mean, it's just I don't see what difference does it make whether this kid did it with his background of his demented ideas. Why, if it wasn't him, then why would you think someone else would do it? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, back to as Lloyd said, Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the easiest, is usually the truest one. Why muddy the waters?
I think there's a lot of, as all of you have pointed out, there's a lot of good coming from this tragedy, fortunately. I think we've talked in the past about how divided the country is and how we saw the country kind of come together and good things happen after 9/11. And
it didn't last long.
And we were, I think, also sort of with the level of division, I think we were it's probably fair to say that all of us were less than optimistic that if that happened again, that we would see that same kind of coming together. But the murder of Charlie Kirk has done something, like Will was pointing out earlier. The number of people who have gone to church, who never even thought about doing that before, the number of people who maybe they are, regular Christian, Bible believing Christians and just haven't been going regularly, and then suddenly, boom, they start going back. There's a positive outcome to this that I'm surprised. Do you think that lasts?
No.
I'm going to open that to everyone. What do you think?
For some, I think this will be the open door and wake-up call that they've needed. But for a lot of people, unless they get rooted into a genuine community, it'll just be a flash in the pan.
So for the ones who are just picking up the Bible at home and not going to church and getting involved in their church community, in a church community,
yeah,
it's not going to last.
Yeah, I mean, here's a trite saying that I heard back in the early 2000s. It was something to the effect of, and I'm the worst at quotes, so I'll just paraphrase. It's something about God not being a bad father, and there are no orphans in Christianity. If you're not in a church, you're not practicing Christianity. You might be saved, but you're not practicing Christianity, because Christianity is a communal event. As much as communism, as far as an ism goes, isn't a good thing, Christianity is about community.
Well, that's communion. That's fellowship.
Yeah.
The parable of the seeds, right? The people who pick up their Bible, they're inspired by this tragedy, but they don't get into the church and have
the weeds
their faith
and the rough soil.
Yes.
They don't join a good Lutheran congregation.
Exactly.
Sorry, Will. Hey, I'm in a non-denom that came out of a Church of Christ, not the cult version. Although the funny thing is on Friday nights we have what we call Friday church, and it meets in the parsonage, so it's a house church. And then Sundays we meet in the barn. So that is the church building.
David Scott is joining us from Kennesaw late. Let's see if we can get him in here and haven't seen David in a while. Usually he has a background of some beautiful place in Italy. How are you, David?
Doing great. How are you guys?
We're good.
Better now.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to duck out of here. I have two little girls that it is definitely bedtime, and the wife is under the weather, so it's my duty. I got to run. For
totally understand. So, absolutely.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Enjoyed it.
Take care.
Thanks.
Next time.
All right, David, what are you up to? What have you been up to since last we were together?
Oh, it's been a while.
It has.
A lot of different things.
Ooh, do tell.
Some Glock matches along the way.
Ooh.
Getting ready to head over to Ireland for a couple of days.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what you know of Killarney and the west coast of Ireland.
Oh gosh, we were in Doolin, right along the Wild Atlantic Way. And it's a super cute little pub in downtown Doolin. And they have live music pretty regularly, so that's a place to go. Other than that, and they filmed the Cliffs of Insanity in The Princess Bride right there on the coast, the west coast of the Wild Atlantic Way at the The Cliffs of
Hold
Moher.
on to your hat.
Moher, yes. If you're wearing a hat, definitely strap it down or hold on to it or just take it off. But it's some of the most...
I have an aerodynamic head anyway.
There you go. Yeah. Familiar.
Getting ready. So going over there in order to prepare to take a tour group over there in May.
Nice.
Okay.
Christmas concerts are well under development at the moment.
Okay.
So
So how do you get yourself into a position to lead tour groups to Ireland? How do you do that? I want to do that.
You spend nearly 40 years singing in the group and end up rising to be in charge of it.
I got you. Okay. Perfect.
So we are in
singing,
our
Lloyd.
It's not
30. He's a pretty good musician.
You've heard the metal. You know I can't sing.
Yeah, well.
I know you don't like music either.
Ouch.
That's cruel.
That hurts.
Well, you've heard his
deeply
stuff.
Wounded.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it. I wouldn't pan it entirely, though. Well, it still fits with Genesis, so
Okay.
I'm good with that. In between Genesis and Psalm 150, we're still good.
Okay, perfect. I feel better now.
The chorus started in 1987. So we're in our 38th, 39th season. And
Cool.
I was sort of the assistant for most of those years until 2018, 19, and took over. The previous director aged out. So that was
nice.
At age like 92. I mean, the guy was tremendous in shape. Yeah.
You got a long ways to go.
Yeah, I do. I do. I've got a good way. Won a Glock pistol along the way this year.
Ooh.
This is what happens when you volunteer. So they enter the volunteers into a drawing, and I have done well with those.
Very good. Yeah, the IDPA does that too. So if you work the match, you get in a separate drawing from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very good.
Yep. And that has increased my ability to put things in the safe. So that's good.
I still have the only Glock I ever won at a GSSF match.
And how did you win that Glock at a GSSF match? Were you first place in a division?
That was a drawing.
Oh, okay. So they give away basically one gun for each 50 participants.
Yeah.
And those are called the randoms in the parlance of those. So we have T-shirts that say, "I'm just here for the randoms."
Just here for the randoms.
That's funny.
The only other time I was a random, and this was IDPA, I drove away disappointed in the match because I'd done so poorly, and I learned halfway home that I'd won a gun.
You shared that story on one of your podcasts years back.
Yep. Both Sergeant Bill and I were so disappointed with how we did. We didn't even stick around for awards. So we drove. We headed back home from Oklahoma City or Tulsa, and halfway home got a message that I'd won a gun. It was too late.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. You know what it says?
Must be present to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in Revelation, those who endure to the end shall be saved.
Yeah, should have stuck it out. It's true.
So I had a similar experience in high school. Taught me a very distinct lesson. So I entered a music contest, composition contest in 1973. And I was totally disappointed. There were groups there that I thought were, much more impressive than myself, even in the composition category. And but there were these 4 girls from my high school who were there to sing as well. And they said, "Oh, we knocked it out." So And I said, I'm going to go home. And they said, no, you stick around here with us because we're sure we're going to win. And it's like, okay, 4 pretty girls, who's not going to stick around, right?
Exactly.
And they won in their category, but not before I won in mine.
Oh,
as well. Had they not talked me into sticking around and going to get pizza afterwards, of course,
of course,
anything that appeals to way to a man's heart. But had they not persuaded me to hang out, I would not have known about that prize. So it was the first, and you got to show up to play. I mean, you got to show up to win.
This is true. There were no pretty girls around to encourage me to stay.
Yeah, well, life lesson. But and based on that, I stuck out a lot of things and have been the last man standing a lot of times in my life. So it has been good advice.
Good deal. We cannot wrap this up without getting back Curtis. Curtis, you wanted to comment on the episode that Pastor Bennett and I did talking about absolutely nothing. A show about everything and nothing, or whatever I called it. So let's get back to you to round this out and to finish off the show. So I did not want to leave before we got a chance to do that.
All right. Well, I'll try to make it a short synopsis.
No, you don't have to do that.
I don't necessarily disagree with any major point that Reverend Bennett made. Now, I have been a commissioned deacon in the Kansas district for 22 years. I think I've served under at least 4 pastors during that point. And he talked about the SMP program, which back when I became a deacon, and shortly after that, our pastor got called to the seminary as a professor.
And before you go on, for those who did not listen to that episode, remind folks what the SMP program is.
A specific ministry program. It's a program wherein pastor or people could get ordination without the whole four years seminary. At the seminary. And at that point, when our pastor got called to seminary to be a professor, his suggestion to the congregation was that they call me. And at that point, what the Kansas district had, or the seminary, the St. Louis Seminary had, was called the DELTO program, Distance Education Leading to Ordination. And I was actually accepted into that program. And to make a long story short, from a congregation, I lost the call by 1 vote. So without that call, I got dropped from the program.
Oh.
And supposedly that DELTO program gave you everything a seminary education would give you, except learning the 2 languages. Okay. So continuing on, now when I look back at it, I don't, the Lord always has a plan. I'm very, very happy where I'm at. I've had some pastors that would absolutely not use me for anything other than maybe when they went on vacation, I would serve, where normally an elder would read a sermon that the pastor wrote.
Right.
And lead worship. Well, I write all my own sermons. My pastor approves them before I give them. And I relieve him now. This is my current pastor, Pastor Tim McCall. He uses the heck out of me. I've done funerals. I've done last rites for people. If there's no other reason that I do a service for him, at least every couple months, I will lead the service just so he can sit with his family in the pews and be a father, during worship. I have heard that, and I know that the district, or not the district, LCMS as a whole came up with the whole thing that, deacons were not supposed to be doing anything, and that's reiterated every year when I have to renew my credentialing, and my Kansas district, and I can only speak for the Kansas district, but he always, in his letter for recredentialing, it always has a list of what did you do this year, and you better not have written any sermons of your own. All you can do is read a sermon written by your pastor. well, that doesn't happen with me and my pastor. He does approve all my sermons, but and sometimes he makes suggestions for me. I have heard that part of the thing in the whole is that some deacons want to undermine their pastor so that they can get that position of leadership. I actually do not want that at all. I am in a perfect place. I'm not paid $1. Nobody complains about me. Nobody can criticize me, but I consider myself the right-hand man of the pastor. Now, in the big scheme of things, and coming back to Reverend Bennett, right now our pastors are being overloaded. Like in our circuit, we did have 3 vacant churches in our circuit. And on the non-communion Sundays, that's one thing I cannot do is do communion. But on non-communion Sundays, I would go that 3 church route and do them services for them. And I did that for probably 9 months or something and they actually got a pastor in there to fill that. And he's like 70 some years old. So again, to make it short, my concern is we're going down this road of combining multiple churches into one pastor, and I'm afraid they're going to get burned out. We continue to lose pastors. Are we going to close? Basically, are we going to close churches, or are we going to find a method that works where they don't get burned out? It goes back to the old thing: the ship sinks, and you got a group of Lutherans on the church or on the island. Is somebody going to lead worship, or is everybody going to forget it? You're going to take the most qualified person, and you're going to worship God. So that's kind of my point. Like I said, I've got nothing against anything Reverend Bennett said. It's just, those are my thoughts as being a deacon. Use the assets available to you. Right. I love being the right-hand man of my pastor. He enjoys the help, and I'm glad that I can assist him in.
He's a good one too.
A good life.
He's a good one too. I like him a lot. Is SMP intended to fill vacancy? Help me out here. I don't know enough to know enough.
I'm not 100% on the SMP program. I think it's somebody's in a position where they're kind of doing the leadership and they need that. It's real similar to what we had as the Delta program back then. You're in a position where if you had the education, you could be ordained.
Is that distance learning, is that still the Delta program? Is that
no, that's gone.
That's gone.
Yeah, okay. When LCMS as a whole did that, I forget the number of that.
So you're grandfathered in, sort of.
Yeah, and they said no more of that. So,
okay.
But I am more than 100% happy where I'm at. No desires to be a pastor. I've seen too many pastors that were criticized and literally forced to leave because of this, that, or the other. So yeah, I am totally 100% happy just to be the right-hand man of the man whose God is our shepherd.
Hey, Curtis, one of the things I heard about that is it says that the church is the only army that shoots its wounded.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Having served in a political capacity at a church in North Carolina where where that happened quite a bit, and the pastor was taking all kinds of slings and arrows, I know what that's like. Can't imagine how that felt. You ever run into any of that sort of thing, Stu? Is that why you're in Pensacola smoking cigars now?
Yeah, sure. I'd rather not say anything. So
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's just better to be quiet at times. Not easy for me, but
yeah.
The SMP program, I remember when they started that, got rid of Delta, and it was abused. And that's the problem. Not saying that you're abusing it. I'm saying that some of the bigger congregations, the happy clappy congregations, abuse the hell out of it. But anyway.
How was SMP different from the old Delta program?
Not really. It's just a new name for it. It's a very similar type of thing.
Okay.
And it's where guys are trying to help out. And
Did they sort of simplify it? Because it sounds
all
to me
they
like
need to
what
do
Curtis
is ordain.
was really
if you want to
more
make
involved.
it right, make it ordain Curtis. That's what you do. You don't just play games. You set them aside. You set them aside. You ordain them. That's what you do. You don't. And that's what the confessions call for, not this malarkey. You just make him. You don't want to be a pastor, then don't play it. You don't play at it. You either become one or you don't.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the things about when I said I lost that vote by one vote. Some people came up to me later and said the reason that they did not vote for me to take that call was because under the Delta program, you had to serve 2 years, 2 years of the program before you got ordained. And there were several people came up to me and said, I didn't vote for you because we would not have an ordained pastor for 2 years, even though being in the Delta program, they would give me that permission to do word and sacrament ministry for the church.
Right.
And it ended up, we went vacant in the next several years twice, and were vacant without an ordained pastor way more than the 2 years that it would have been me. But again, the Lord always has a plan. I am happy he worked it the way he did because my life is perfect. Praise God.
Good deal. All right.
By the way, Lloyd, almost all denominations suffer through these kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
Being Baptist, I've seen it. I have plenty of Methodist friends who suffer through these similar kinds of things.
The church I grew up in, that my mom grew up in, that my grandmother grew up in, is now closed. It is a private residence.
Mm-hmm.
The church that I was baptized in, was married in, is gone.
Yep.
So... and that was a Methodist
these congregations did their job. They brought people to faith, and they did God's calling of baptizing, and teaching. Congregations have life expectancies; they don't last forever. If you look at my favorite example was the Hagia Sophia. For 1,000 years, almost. It was one of the largest churches in Christendom.
The largest.
Until the Mohammedans destroyed the Byzantine Empire. We won't go there. Anyway, but
Crusaders didn't.
That was in 1453 when it closed its doors to Christianity. But the remnant is still there of Christians in Istanbul, whatever they call that place.
Constantinople.
Yeah, I prefer Constantinople. So anyway, and so the building's still there. It's just not a church anymore.
Yeah.
So
it served its purpose.
It served its purpose, and for 1,000 years, almost 1,000 years, it baptized people and made believers.
Yep.
It did its job.
Yep.
Just like Will's church, just like Darrel's church. That's what they do. They baptize and they preach the word. Someday it may be gone. We just had our 140th anniversary. Unfortunately, they had to listen to me preach last week.
Oh, my goodness.
And
what a celebration.
Yeah. Needless to say, 140 years, they've been doing the same thing.
Yeah. Is that online
baptizing,
anywhere?
Preaching. Huh?
Yeah.
Is that online anywhere to listen to it?
No, hopefully not. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we have a Facebook page. It's a private Facebook page.
Oh, dang it.
So, but anyway,
I would love to see
it's better that way. I don't watch myself because I can't stand to look at myself. It's just like this video. True. I won't watch it. It's the one time I don't listen to Armed Lutheran Radios when we do a live one. I don't watch myself.
Okay.
It's
John
pretty
might
universal
like it,
that everybody who hears himself or sees himself, it's not what you would hope to see or hear.
Yes, exactly. That's why I do podcasts and generally not videos.
One of the worst takes I ever heard, they blamed Martin Luther for the Hagia Sophia no longer being a church.
Really?
Because of the split of the Protestant Reformation.
Oh.
they weren't able to unite the people to push it back. What the claim was. Which, yeah, I said it's one of the worst takes I ever heard.
That is really bad.
They were off by a few years, right?
A few, yeah. It closed in the 1400s.
1453, when Constantinople fell.
Yeah.
And
they said 1543, so they got the number wrong. And it's like,
oh, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's
what it was.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, they were saying, yeah. And so I was like, yeah.
And like I said earlier, the Crusades didn't help. Wasn't it the Fourth Crusade in the 14th century that sacked Constantinople?
And became the Latin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Byzantium had a problem for a long time.
Yeah.
And it still lasted longer than
but the
United
Crusades
States.
got turned into a chance to rape and pillage other Christian cities instead of actually fighting the Muslims.
Right.
Anyway,
you guys have an amazing grasp of church history. That's impressive.
As I used to say, I've forgotten more about history than most people ever learned, but that's
I've always
neither
been
here nor there.
fascinated by the Crusades for some reason, not in the alt-right way, but just interested in history in general. And it's a fascinating time. And to me, the way it's on the one hand, it was sold as a noble cause. On the other hand, it was sold.
It was a noble cause.
Yes, but it was also sold as horribly as an indulgence. If you went and killed people in the name of Christ, you would earn remission of your sins, which is just insane.
Yes.
And then it's fascinating how many, with the exception of the first crusade, which was an absolute miracle that it actually worked in the first place. But every successive crusade was an absolute, it was the dog's breakfast. It was terrible for a variety of reasons. And the fourth was probably the worst.
It was actually sold as an indulgence on both sides.
Yes.
I'd actually recommend a good book if you haven't read it, Sword and Scimitar by Raymond Ibrahim.
That is on my, I don't have that. That is on my wish list.
He is a Coptic Christian whose family taught him Arabic. And so he reads the original sources from both sides.
Nice.
And for the books he writes.
Very good. Yeah, it's a fascinating, I mean, the whole crusading era and the Christian kingdoms of what was it, Jerusalem and Edessa and all of those. Fascinating time to me. I like history. So anyhow.
But he also agrees with Stu that it was a noble cause.
Yes.
It's just, it was a noble cause by flawed people, essentially.
Yes. It was the execution that was the problem. All right. Well, we're past our hour, but I'm glad we are, because we got a chance to get back to Curtis and his point. And I'm sorry that we didn't get together earlier to do that. And I'm sorry we didn't have Pastor Bennett here to do it, but glad we did get to chat about that and got that cleared up. And I'm glad you guys got to that we all got to get together. I'm really sorry that kept having to postpone. But we will do this again in November. And so everyone have an excellent Reformation Day at the end of the month.
Is anyone else planning on going to the 1517.org conference in San Diego next week?
Ooh.
No.
And I'll be in Tennessee next weekend.
All right. Well, I was hoping.
And last weekend we were in Kentucky seeing the Ark exhibit.
Oh, that's nice.
Interesting. I'm from that area. That's okay. Where I grew up. I think one of the families behind the property there was a family that did some support of church associational work where I was growing up.
Nice.
My dad wrote a book about Noah's Ark. Where that went? Around here somewhere.
So where did you stay while you were in the ARC area?
Three Springs Campground. They had a cabin called Papa's Cabin. So we stayed there. My brother had a different cabin, and his brother-in-law lives in how do they pronounce it? It's the Prevost, Prevost bus that he and his wife reconfigured for their three kids. So they live in that. They literally chase the winters because they like skiing and various things. So they'll go and try to get as much snow as they can throughout the year.
Oh, wow. So I'm from the greater Cincinnati area. So where
the look on Stu's face in response to the snow was all you needed to know there.
No, I don't do snow no more.
No snow no more, huh?
No more. We had 8 inches this last year. That's way too much.
We moved to Texas to get away from it.
Me too. I moved to Florida to get away from all of that. Y'all can keep it.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you again for hanging out. It's good to see all of you. David.
Thank you.
Good to have you here for the first time. Hope you will come in.
Other David.
The other David.
Oh, the other
David. It's great.
There's David and David Scott.
David and David Scott. David Scott, great to see you again. And David, whoever, I don't know your last name yet. I'll have to tie him in with the membership stuff that came in. But David, glad to have you here for the first time. Darrel, great to see you again. William, are you on the road anytime soon? Going anywhere interesting?
Well, last week was Kentucky. The
Tennessee
next
and Kentucky
weekend
thing?
is Tennessee.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then December is DC with just my wife.
Ah, nice. Curtis, it's great to see you. Stay safe. Are you driving the truck out to the 1517? Is that?
No, POV. Drive a POV.
Oh, okay. All right. Stu, stay safe. Glad to see you're on you're mended and not
getting there.
Not in a sling anymore.
Yeah. I have weight limitation for the rest of my life. That's all I know.
Well,
can't pick up more than 25 pounds.
You can get other people to do that.
That's right.
Guys, have a great night.
Have a blessed evening.
Have a blessed evening, and we will talk to you again soon.
Hello, fellas.
You betcha.
Okay, bye, guys.
For show notes, be sure to visit our website at www.armedlutheran.us. Check out the Facebook page, The Armed Lutheran, or join our Facebook group, Fans of Armed Lutheran Radio. If you like what you hear, please leave us a comment on our feedback page at armedlutheran.us/feedback or a review on iTunes and let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Armed Lutheran Radio.